Don't make assumptions. We've all heard this agreement, whether we realized it was an agreement or not. Don't make assumptions. We've been told over and over what the outcome of doing so will be. It makes an ass of all involved, right? But me, you, and 99% of the population continue to do it on a daily basis. For many of us, it's the theme of our entire day, all day. What? I hear you say. I don't do that. And I'm here to tell you that you do. A lot. And you don't call it making assumptions. You call it worry. I call it overthinking. Yeah, gotcha. So to those of you that are human in the year 2025 and do not fret, worry, nor overthink, congratulations. And to those of us who do fret, worry, and overthink, we hope to join you soon. And these 3 steps I suggest will get us there. Step 1. Listen and identify. I'm going to say that this is the most important and powerful thing that you can do for yourself. Listen to you, literally. Identify your common thought narratives. These are the stories that we play in our heads, and they can be likened to the strings of a puppet. And they literally can cause your reactions just like the strings work on a puppet. The point here is for us to identify these storylines, these strings. Witnessing our thought patterns without judgment of whether they are good or bad, just listening to our own story is so important in mastering not making assumptions. I'm going to suggest that journaling here is good if it works for you, to write down the narratives that you are finding are common. What is it that you think about all day? Focus on listening. The point here is to acknowledge the patterns. It's very important for us to do this because we cannot change things that we do not know are there. So bringing our attention to our strings, this is the first step to becoming your authentic self. No longer a puppet, a real boy. I'm going to offer a visualization exercise here. It's well known that athletes use visualization to attain the skill and technique that they wish to embody. To bring that into manifestation and physicality, they use their minds to do that. And it is powerful for you to visualize what it is that you want to see come into fruition. So let's do this meditative awareness practice. Imagine a puppet. It's looking up and realizing for the first time that it has strings. You can see this puppet. He's reaching up, he's touching his strings and experimenting with the different ways that the strings work. He's realizing that, oh, this one moves my arm, and this one is attached to my leg. Now imagine yourself as the puppet. See your strings and realize that those are your storylines, your thought patterns. Experience the ways that these strings make you react. How does it feel when you pull on one of your storylines? Do you have storylines that are about lack, doubt, fear? These types of storylines are all based in making assumptions. So this first step is about being the puppet, becoming aware of its strings. Now, step 1 can be a long process. Identifying our common thought patterns can take time, and it will take diligence. But with practice and will, You will become faster and faster at hearing your common narratives and identifying the ones that you choose to no longer give your time and energy to, and these are the ones that you can change. Step 2. We change by calling the thought police. It can be overwhelming by the time that we reach step 2. The awareness of the patterns of our thinking, our storylines, it requires strength and will to do this work. And you may have discovered that many narratives run in your head that you wish to change. It can be easier for some to tackle one storyline at a time. For others, it's cold turkey and you go head on, and neither path is better than the other here. Don't compare yourself. Be neutral about this. Be the witness of your thoughts. Pick one, pick them all. This moves at your pace. And what you need to realize is that you realizing that you have storylines and strings at all is miraculous. So do this second step in your own way and in your own time. This is not a race, it's a marathon. Marathons take training, and they take practice, and they take not giving up. So once we have identified which storylines that we want to tackle, whether it is one or all of them, we have to practice catching them in action. You're going to keep using your listening skills for this. Now you have the opportunity to actually catch your thoughts in the act of writing the storylines that you no longer choose to give your time and energy to. You can begin to hear the what ifs, the buts, the I think they are being this way or doing that because, and the I can't narratives. This is where you make a choice to stop them. You call the thought police and you bring the hammer down. And I recommend that you choose a word for this action. Mine is simply the word stop. Pick what works for you. Use it. If you want to change these narratives, if you want to change your point of view and begin to use your words impeccably, then you have to realize that you have words at all. And these words have created storylines. And they have formed your point of view. And if you want to change that, you must use your will and your awareness and do it. Meditative action visualization practice. Imagine you are the puppet again. Only now, you are fully aware and familiar with your strings. Focus now on the points of connection that they have to you, where they attach to your different body parts. Focus on what it feels like when they are pulled, when they are encouraging you to take action in a certain direction. Focus on the pull, and now resist being moved by the string. Instead of responding to the storyline, focus on using your will to not be moved by the string's request. Do this with all of your strings. Resist the inputs coming from the strings and hold that connected part still with your will. Finish this exercise by moving all of your body parts of your own accord. Know that you move the puppet now, not the strings. Step 3. Practice what you preach. Solidifying the changes in your thinking patterns will need your willingness, your awareness, and your vigilance. The fundamental thing to know about assumption making is that it is based in fantasy, and it is not based in fact. To stop doubting, worrying, Telling yourself there isn't enough or I can't requires letting go of making up stories to fill in the blanks of what you don't know. Our mind believes it is scary to not know something, and it literally makes stuff up to make itself feel better. For many of us, this is a long-standing trick that we've done for a very long time, and many of us were trained to think from these scary points of view by our caregivers and by the other people around us. How did the people around you when you were little, how did they think? Were they worriers? Were they doubters? Lackers? Did they think from a disempowered point of view? The cure for assuming is fact. If you don't know the facts about a situation, don't make up a story. Wait until you know the facts. If you don't know how someone feels, ask. If you don't know what is going on in a situation, get clarity. If you are unable to get the facts and the clarity that you want right away, don't waste your time and energy making stuff up. Wait until you have the facts. Meditative realization visualization practice. You are the puppet again, and now you are aware that you can move your parts of your own accord, and you no longer feel compelled to respond to a storyline if you don't wish to. Now imagine that you are seeing beyond your strings. You can now see the source of those strings, and they flow back into your past, and you are able to visualize where each of the storylines originate. You reach out to the 2 wooden pieces that make up the control frame where the strings originate. You untie the strings one by one. Claim the now detached storylines as your own. Focus on what you want each string to be for you now. You can find chapter 2 as well as other chapters of this book in the playlist. The link is in the description. Peace to you. Love and light. Y'all have a beautiful day.